They say the tallest mountain isn't made of rock, but of the things we refuse to carry together. Have you ever noticed how 3 people can starve while holding a single loaf of bread? It's not a riddle of physics, it's a riddle of the heart. Today, we're climbing the Cloud Mist Peak to visit 3 monks who had everything they needed to be enlightened, but couldn't even manage to boil a pot of water. Once, at the foot of a jagged mountain, lived a lone monk. Every morning, he took 2 empty wooden buckets, hiked 3 miles to the river, and hauled them back up. He was tired, yes, but he was hydrated. He understood the Tao. Action leads to result. He drank when he was thirsty because he did the work. One day, a second monk arrived. "Brother," the newcomer said, "why should you walk alone? If we go together, we can carry 1 large pole between us, hang a single bucket in the middle, and share the weight. We will save our energy for meditation." The lone monk agreed. It was logical. It was efficient. For a month, they walked in rhythm. If one stumbled, the other balanced the pole. They had enough water, and their shoulders only ached half as much.
Then came the 3rd monk. He was a scholar, with robes that smelled of old parchment. "Brothers," he cried, "I have come to join your temple. 3 is a sacred number. With 3 of us, our potential is limitless." But here, the Tao took a sharp turn into the weeds of human ego. The next morning, the sun climbed high, but the monks stayed in the courtyard. Monk 1 thought, "There are 3 of us now. Surely I don't need to go today. Let the new guy show his devotion."
Monk 2 thought, "I've been carrying water for a month. It's someone else's turn to lead the way." Monk 3 thought, "I am the guest. It would be rude to overstep and take the buckets without being asked."
By noon, the water jar was dry. By evening,
The monks were parched, their throats like sandpaper. They sat in the temple, surrounded by the scent of incense, but all they could think about was the river. "The jar is empty," Monk 1 croaked. "I noticed," Monk 2 replied, staring at the floor. "In the scriptures," Monk 3 added, "it says that labor should be divided equally. But how do you divide a 2-man pole among 3 men?" They spent the night debating the geometry of the pole. If 2 carried it, the 3rd was cheating. If they took turns, who would go first? The ego is a master accountant. It never wants to give a cent more than it receives. While they argued over fairness, they forgot about thirst. That night, a dry lightning strike hit the thatched roof of the temple. Flame licked the cedar beams. Smoke filled the meditation hall. The monks scrambled out into the yard, coughing and clutching their robes. They looked at the fire, then they looked at the empty water jar. There was no time for fairness. There was no time for my turn. In that moment of crisis, the Tao revealed itself. Monk 1 grabbed the buckets and sprinted toward the river. Monk 2 didn't wait. He grabbed a cooking pot and ran behind him. Monk 3 grabbed a laundry basin and followed suit. They didn't use a pole. They didn't ask who was carrying more. They simply ran. They formed a human chain from the riverbank to the porch. One scooped, one passed, one poured. The fire was extinguished. As the sun rose over the damp, charred remains of the roof, the 3 monks sat on the grass, soaking wet and breathing hard. The Tao teaches us that one monk has water to drink because he accepts responsibility. 2 monks have water because they accept cooperation. But 3 monks go thirsty because they succumb to the bystander of the soul, the belief that someone else will do what we are unwilling to do ourselves. In modern psychology, we recognize this as social loafing, or the bystander effect. This is the documented tendency for individuals to exert less effort when they are part of a group than when they are alone. The more people there are to share a responsibility, the less responsible each individual feels to take the first step. When the monks were alone or in a pair, the necessity of the task was clear. But with 3, the diffusion of responsibility set in. They each assumed someone else would hold the bucket, and in doing so, they all went thirsty. Enlightenment isn't found in the perfect division of labor. It is found in the realization that there is no other. When the jar is empty, you are the one who is thirsty. When the fire starts, you are the one who burns. Stop measuring the pole. Just go to the river. Next time you're waiting for someone else to pick up the bucket, ask yourself, is your pride worth the thirst? If you like this story, give it a thumbs up. Comment below on what you learned and share it to inspire others. Until the next story, stay still in your heart, but move when the world calls. Stay aware of the bucket in your own hand and learn to see beyond the math of fairness to the truth of what needs to be done. See beyond what can be explained and simply be the one who carries the water.